Good morning. I am out at Thirlmere here in the Lake District today. Decided to come to this lake because I'm not sure you can see behind me, but the water level is incredibly low. I believe that this reservoir supplies Manchester with water and perhaps Liverpool. I'm not entirely sure, don't quote me on that. But yeah, I've been working locally in the area, and I've kind of driven past a few times now and seen, and just seen how low the water is. And there's just always something about the water being really low that kind of gives you a bit more extra hope. You sort of feel like the fish are all going to be condensed in smaller channels and that, because obviously there's not as much space for them to swim around in. So yeah, so decided a couple of weeks ago that, man, I've really got to find some time to get out in the water again, and decided to come here today. It's about 10:30 in the morning. I've had a few casts already, just with a little small silver spinner. If I catch something on it, I'll show you. If not, there's no point in showing you. Yeah, no knocks just yet. But I've only had a handful of casts, so I haven't lost faith entirely. Just before I started this video, I was watching a video on YouTube of some guys that were pack rafting out here on Thirlmere, hoping to get some sneaky insider tricks, find out what might be working, what might not be working. And unfortunately, in that video, they all blanked, and there was 3 of them. They were fishing with cranks and fly and all sorts of things. So if that's anything to go by, it's not looking too good. But I guess we'll just have to try and see. Maybe my luck will be better than theirs. Hopefully, anyway. Also, just a little bit of a side note is I've picked up a lot of lost traces, which I know nobody loses their trace on purpose. But if you are fishing out and you see some fishing line caught between rocks or whatever it might be, just pick it up. I've got it all bundled up in my pocket. I've actually picked up a map spinner. It's looking a little worse for wear. It's a little bit rusted, but maybe I'll be able to bend it back into shape, because the little arm on it's a little bit bent, and then I'll just change over the hooks, because I've got loads of treble hooks at home. So maybe I would have picked up an extra spinner for my good deed. But yeah, obviously, just if you spot the stuff, any spare fishing line or whatever, it's really nasty stuff for birds to get tangled in. So yeah, do try and pick it up if you see it, and then just chuck it in the bin on your way out, on your way home. Right, well, if you see me again, I'll be on with the fish. Well, I did say next time you see me, I'll have a fish, and this was a pretty crazy bite. I don't even know where to put my camera. Shows me right for not coming out here with my tripod. Anyway, I'll see if I can balance it there. This literally took almost at my feet. I was just freelining, like just lifting up my rod. Calm down, chap. Just lifting up my rod to look at how my spinner was moving right in front of me. And yeah, picked up a tiny little jack pike. Literally, like, I cannot stress enough, this was at my feet. I'm trying not to get my own hook in my fingers, yeah? But I will show you him in a minute. Yeah, my finger is right there on the hook, so just barely hooked on one of the trebles there. I do have some nasty teeth, so I'm gonna just focus on this. Bear with me. Come on. It should be easier if I go to the other side. Oh God. No, you cannot swim away. Sorry, buddy. God, this is a shambles. I promise I'm not always this much of a shambles when I catch a fish. Just grab him in the gills. Slide your finger up just next to the gills. Make sure you don't touch the gills themselves, please, if you are handling pike like this. There we go. So, there we are. Tiny little jack pike, but really vivid colors. Beautiful, look at him. Stunning little fish. Stoked. Well, it's not a blank today, thank goodness. Here's the release. He's very much ready. very much ready to go back. That was epic. Hopefully I got that on the camera. Cool, well there we go. First fish of the day. It is a pike. I got excited for a second because I thought it was a very big trout. Because obviously for a pike, that's kind of, you know, smallish. I'm not absolutely not complaining about it, but it is a small pike. But if you catch a trout that big, different story. That's a decent trout. So yeah, now that I've actually caught something, I will show you what I've been using. There we are. Trusty little spinner. It's got a small amount of like green sort of feather thingies and some rope on the back. No idea how many grams this is. It's a no-name brand spinner. I just got it in one of those Christmas advent things. But yeah, literally, if I can show you, took there in like not even a foot of water. Like the camouflage on them is insane. I didn't even see it coming up. All I saw was like all of a sudden my spinner wasn't there anymore. Yeah, awesome. Tiny little pike to start off the day. Brilliant. Well, again, if you see me, I'll be showing you my next fish. Great stuff. Right, got our second fish on. I think this one's a trout this time. It is a lovely little brown. Come on. Don't let me lose you on camera, please. Oh, that's a little rock. Come on. Come on. And he's in the net. Beautiful. Oh, camera's not very well set up. I'm taking him out the water for a second. Just so I can set that up a bit better for yourselves. There we go. Right, back in the water he goes. So a trout, always try and keep them in the water as much as possible. Make sure your hands are wet before handling any fish. Oh man, the color on this guy is incredible. Right. A little bit in that. Like that. There we go. No. Keep him in the water nicely there. Whew, that was awesome. Try and compose myself a bit. Oh, not huge. Not tiny. My hair all over the show. It's been windy and raining. Not huge, but just get him to lay nicely in the water. Come on. Just flopping upside down. Let's see if I can get him to tilt. There we are. Stunning little fish. Look at him. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to try and get a better angle so I can properly showcase this stunning little trout. Second fish of the day. Using a similar spinner. I have lost the first spinner that you saw on the video. I'll show you the second one. Oh, no, no. See if I can just get my hand on his mouth there again. Yeah. Look at it. Stunning little brown trout. Look at those spots. Oh, goodness. Alright, I don't want to harm this guy, so he's got a little blue marking there next to his gill plate. Amazing. Right, I'm going to let him go. See if I can film this for you. I'll just do a net release, as they say. So let's have a look. Well, you can see he's still got plenty of energy. I fought him nice and lightly on the spinner there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Beached himself a bit. Come on. Off he goes. Oh, that's weird. What is going on? I hope he's alright. Still got lots of energy in him, but he just seemed really disorientated. I'm just gonna hold him in the water here. Oh. Oh no. Oh, I hope he's gonna go back, but he's not looking too good. Oh no. I mean, I'm not totally against taking one for the table, but I'd usually want one a bit bigger than this. Oh no. Ah, that's gutting. I don't know why he's not going back properly. I might take this one for the table. Yeah, he's still got energy, but he's not righting himself up. Oh, that's a pity. Well, I know I'll probably get some slack on the comments about taking a fish that's fairly undersized and everything. I am going to try and resuscitate him a bit more, but he's not looking too hot, so sorry buddy. Right, okay, I'm going to stop the video now, just try and get him resuscitated, but if not, I'll take him for the table. Part of fishing, I guess. Ideally I'd be using single hooks and barbless and everything, but it wasn't even, come on, just stay here and breathe. It wasn't even badly hooked or anything. He's not even left the water. I'm not sure. I'll try and get him back anyway. Lovely little fish. Okay, so tried for about 5 minutes to revive him. With no luck, unfortunately. Kind of just eventually he stopped even trying to swim away, and at no point was he even holding himself upright. I pushed him out and he actually swam back. I think that was all caught in video anyway. And yeah, I wasn't necessarily planning on taking a fish that size today. I much prefer taking something a bit more mature. Yeah, I mean, I could, you know, I'm not one of these that's too squeamish to take a fish. I do it on a, you know, fairly regular basis if I want to take one for the table, usually from the sea, not necessarily trout, and certainly not trout in streams, just because I feel like they're so few and far between, and they take so long to get to like a decent eating size that, like, at that point that fish is old, you know. You got to give them a bit of respect. But yeah, I'm honestly pretty heartbroken about that. It's such a stunning little fish, and I really just wanted to see him swim away. So yeah, I've had to priest that one. But I'll take a moment. I'll have some dinner tonight and kind of just, I guess, respect that. Anyways, sorry about that. I didn't mean to take a fish like that. I know some people are very much against it, but there just wasn't any option with that one, I'm afraid. This is the spinner that did the work. Little silver fox, is it blue fox, sorry, size 2 spinner. Yeah, I honestly don't know why it didn't go back. I don't know if it was because when it jumped out my hand, if it hit its head on the rock in like a really pinpoint location, that it just completely dazed it. But then even if that was the case, you know, eventually you just keep holding them in the water and they get right and then they swim away. But that one just was not having it. It started like almost agonal gasping, and I thought at this point I don't know if it's a good thing to actually keep trying to revive him. So I just made the decision to just to end it for him. Anyways, sad, but yeah, part of fishing, part of taking food for the table. If you eat fish at home and you want to comment on how bad it is that I killed that fish, So what happens most of the time, actually, the fish that you catch, I mean the fish that you buy in the store, are they die from like being out the water. They're not even put out of their misery. They just kind of gasp and eventually die from not being in the water. It's a horrible way to go, and I feel like it also doesn't do any wonders for the meat, because there's a lot of stress hormones released in the fish throughout that time. So anyway, I'm really rambling on here. I do apologize. I'm going to keep fishing, and I will attempt to release every other fish that I catch today. So hopefully I can make that happen. All right, fish number 3. Going to be real quick with this one because it is minute, tiny little trout. Also beautiful colors. Not going to mess about. Straight back. Off he goes. Bloody hell. After that last one, the heartbreaker. I would take another fish today, because that fish is not necessarily enough to feed 2 people. So myself and my partner are going to have to try and split that one, unless I can get another fish that's decent size at least to take. But yeah, cool to have a few fish so far today. Can't complain. Alrighty, so we're back now home. Got the trout there. Had that gutted and scaled, cleaned out nicely, and ready for cooking. I've decided to go with a salt bake on this trout, because obviously I felt quite bad about having to take this trout. So I thought I'd pull out all the stops to try and make it taste as good as possible and kind of honor it in that way. So while I was gutting it as well, unfortunately it did also have some roe. So what I've done is I've very, very carefully and meticulously taken all the roe out of the membrane. Took quite a while, and got that brining at the moment. So we'll be able to eat that as well. Got some tomatoes from the garden. Got some garlic, not from the garden, because that's what my garlic looks like. They're really tiny bulbs, but I'm learning. Got some sage, got some oregano, some parsley, and some dill and thyme there, because I'm not growing dill and my thyme is looking really sad at the moment, so I don't really want to take from that. So basically what you do is you got a bunch of salt. You mix that with a little bit of water and egg whites. You lay a base on the bottom of salt, put the fish on top with with the rest of the herbs and spices and tomato and things inside the belly of the fish. And then you completely cover it over with salt, and bake it like that. And then once it's baked, you can basically take a spoon and crack it over the top, and all the salt comes off. And I've done this before with a sea bass that I've caught. And surprisingly, even though it's completely covered in 500 grams of salt, the flesh itself doesn't actually taste too salty. It seasons it pretty well. So yeah, it's the best way I know of preparing a fish. And I'm using a lot of the ingredients from my garden. We're also going to be doing some new potatoes as a side dish with it, which again, from the garden. So yeah, really just trying to make the most out of the fact that this fish unfortunately wasn't able to go back, and it's going to be a delicious meal for myself and my partner. So yeah, looking forward to it. But I thought, seeing as though this ended up being a bit of an unintentional catch and cook, I would show you what I'm going to be doing with it. I'm not going to show you the cooked thing in the end, because this isn't a cooking show, but I just thought I'd let you know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm not going to ask you to like and subscribe, because I'm not under no illusion that I'm going to be some sort of famous YouTuber. But if you do want to leave a comment, that's great, because I am trying to build a bit of a community of fishermen here in the UK, in the Lake District in particular. So yeah, leave a comment, even if it's just telling me where you're from and what fish you like to catch, or how you like to cook your food. Yeah, thanks for watching.